the main thing I want to see is I want to see the qualification system move towards like a yearly ranking or something like that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Plus 3, the best podcast on this channel, better than the millisecond. I'm Matt Rosman, joined by John Epley and Manu Singhal. Gentlemen, we need to re-establish our position. We have competition now. Getting into it today, I want to introduce this first topic with a little bit of context. So, Nats is coming up. This is a post here from Michael Nielsen, the defending 2x2 US champion. It says, Cubing USA All-Stars flawed qualification system has made it such that I, the 2x2 US national champion, will not be allowed to compete in 2x2 and defend my national title. I will be forced to sit on the sidelines as my title gets passed someone else. I was the 17th ranked American 2x2er to show up. After one international competitor got a spot and one, you get the gist of it. Basically, for All-Stars, they're only having the top 16 rather than just anything in general, or, in this case, the defending champion not being, not qualifying for that top 16 position. It's caused a little bit of controversy. John, we'll start with you. What do you make of this? What do you make of this new system? Is this a boom or bust kind of system?
Well, I just want to address the question directly. This is 4 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. That's missing one boom for anyone that's not familiar with the rating system. The one missing boom is because it sounds like Cubing USA is not fully in control of their own rating system. They aren't allowed to prevent international competitors from qualifying for this competition. So that's why you see some international competitors joining. It seems like they did still make it where they would allow just the top 16 around that international competitor. But it's just kind of an example that, they're kind of working with what they got. And I'm quite confident that if Cubing USA could just do it their way, that they would do it in a cleaner way. And I think the other thing we got to realize is that this is a massive step in the right direction, where we have qualifying times, and that we are that we allow faster people to qualify first, or we have phased registration. So one step at a time, and sometimes something like this will pop up and we'll realize, oh shoot, we have to fix it. And hopefully we fix it instead of, just leaving it be. And I'm sure we will. I'm confident Cubing USA and WCA will come together and get that last big boom.
Yeah, so I'm also somewhere in the middle. I think overall it's a good thing to see that we're getting to, I guess, like competitor pools that are like very limited, that are like the top only. Just think that it's a really good way to have the top of the top compete against the best, like right from the jump, right? It makes for more interesting content as well. There are kind of 2 angles to this. One angle is like the international side. Should international competitors be allowed to compete? Actually, that doesn't even become a problem in this specific case with Michael Nielsen. But, in the past, I've been kind of against this system because that's, to me, is very anti-WCA. And the second one is the qualification system. Now, the way the qualifications are done, and this is just the way that the WCA site is able to do it, does it through your PR. But your PR could be like years and years old, and you could be completely washed up and not even be close to that PR average anymore in terms of skill. And for something like 2x2, it matters actually a lot more than, I guess you might think, because, you're not comparing like the same set of scrambles anymore. You can end up in weird situations like this, where in like high variance, the national champion can't defend their title. So for me, I think the main thing I want to see is I want to see the qualification system move towards like a yearly ranking or something like that. I think that would do a lot better at getting away with stuff like this.
I think I'm going to agree with you partially on that. I do think that we should have it be a little bit more, fair and not just based on PR. Because, Manu, like you're saying, it's a very, you could have something from 4 or 5 years ago and, you just randomly qualify. But I will say this. If you solve cubes, that means you can always go out and get a new PR, right? Listen, yeah, if you're the defending champion, like this is no shade to Michael Neal. I mean, it's a little bit of shade, but it's a bit of a reality check. Yes, you're the defending champion. That's great. You took it home last year. But champions need to prove themselves. They got to go back in. don't blame the system because you're sitting there, at 17th, and there are all these people who on paper are better than you. Now, if we're looking at hardware, obviously that's not the case. But I think the system is what it needs to be. I think the system is, I think it's really good that we have something where it's only going to be the cream of the crop. And sometimes we have situations like this where it's a little bit problematic because, oh, why isn't the champion performing? Look, man, uh, I, not to compare apples and oranges here, but like, it's like all those like Celtics teams in the '60s who won like 8 NBA finals. Comparing that to like LeBron or Steph Curry, like it's like there's no competition. I mean that's a bit of a gap, but you see my point. Champions got to prove themselves more often than just, oh, I won, so I should automatically be in this. It's not the Masters, man. It's a different thing.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I could definitely see a world where like if you move to more of like invitational format as opposed to one where it's just a pure qualification. Let's say that there are 8 spots that are up for like qualifying times. Anyone can get them. Whoever gets the best average, like within like the last year or something, is available for that. And then like maybe you have like other spots that are reserved for the North American champion, the former U.S. champion. If they're different people. I actually think that might not be a bad idea. If you're going to do a small, this is basically an invitational anyway, right? I think it would be really, really interesting to move towards a format like that. Now, of course, that is not exactly what the WCA stands for per se, because that's like not open to everybody by definition. It's invitational. So we'll see. I think this is overall a good problem to have, though. Sorry, I guess it was at the expense of Michael Nielsen, though.
Yeah, and I think as a fan of the sport, which is ultimately I think what all of us are. I mean, we at the end of the day, we all just love watching it. It's going to be rough not having Michael Nielsen there. He's such a character. He always has such personality, and he's just a funny dude. But I can almost guarantee that he will find a way to take this and have a good attitude about it, but still maybe allude to it a few times as he's competing in other events at nationals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about taking that fire and then keeping it moving forward. And when you're someone like Michael Nielsen, who's been at the top, you're gonna have that fire, and you're gonna say, "Okay, I'm not there. Now I'm gonna go prove why I should have been there."
Hey guys, I'm Dylan Miller. I'm a 3x3 Worlds finalist and a top 5 solver in the US. If you want to get coached by me, go to solvewithdylan.com. Doesn't matter your speed. That's solvewithdylan.com. Appreciate it.
Moving on a little bit. I feel like this kind of ties in a little bit to our coaching discussion last week. But cube camps, everybody loves cube camps. Max Felix cube camps. John, we'll start with you. Do you see cube camps continuing to grow in the future as cubing becomes more popular?
Yeah, I mean, I think my answer is going to be kind of similar to the first question, in that I'm going to give this 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. Cube camps are going to continue to grow. I mean, with coaching, with people just taking every aspect of the sport more seriously, cube camps are going to be a way for people to continue to just grow, right? To grow the sport, to grow their careers, to grow their pockets. I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for people to kind of capitalize on their stardom, right? I mean, there's a reason that they call it Max and Felix. It's because people want to go learn from Max and Felix. And that's a premium. And I think that there's a lot of other people that could demand a premium too, as they continue to grow, and as cubing becomes more of a sport where people can develop a personality and a career out of the sport. So I think cube camps are a proven concept. Shout out to Max and Felix for proving that concept. And I think they'd be happy to see other people either do it with them or do it in their own way.
Yeah, so Max and Felix, I think, are like the most well-known cube camp out there. I was there last year. It was really, really fun. It was a really cool experience, and I even learned like a good amount of stuff from listening to Felix talk about just cubing and just how to approach cubing. So this is amazing, right? It's something that you want young people to kind of be into and kind of learn from some of the best role models we have. But there are other cube camps as well. I believe that there's one run by some lady, I think, in Minnesota, and they're actually going to run a competition in the Bahamas. at the beginning of next year as well, which is really, really cool. Cubing is such a great way, I think, to get young people or kind of just like anyone in general involved in like this hobby. And I think a cube camp is a very natural way for that to happen, right? You're in this room with like a bunch of other people. Everyone is there ostensibly to learn about cubing, but really you're also like meeting new people, learning how to talk to them. If you're a young kid, right? Just like that social interaction is like really, really important too. So I think like beyond just the scope of teaching people how to cube, teaching people how to get faster, I think cube camps and similar concepts are going to have a long lasting place in cubing.
I fully agree. I think we make a lot of takes on this channel around like kind of how we're trying to professionalize it, make it more serious. But at the end of the day, the core aspect here is fun. And I think we need things like cube camps, to kind of promote this thing, promote kind of doing it for the love of the game, not for anything else, but being surrounded by a community of people, like you're saying, who all just want to have fun, all just want to learn how to solve cubes, how to get better at solving. I think it's kind of in the same vein as coaching, but whereas coaching is very deliberately a competitive training, this isn't training. This is just hanging out with, all the people that you look up to, and you're there with a bunch of other people who look up to the same people. It's about building community. And I think when you're at the start of any movement, be it a sport, be it, like anything, be it a band or whatever, you're always going to start off with, building that initial community. I think the camps are going to keep growing because people are going to look for those spaces to build community.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great
beyond
take.
that,
And I want to. Oh, go ahead, Manu.
go ahead. No, yeah, go ahead.
I
I
was
think your point.
I was just gonna say. I mean, back to your point on fun. I mean, if we're gonna be fun, then why are your guys' answers yes? And why didn't you boom along with me? I know the viewers at home are booming. I know my whole chat is booming.
Yes, I didn't.
Oh man,
My,
here we go again.
oh, man.
We take the wholesome topic and then it just turns into this, right? This is why we're losing to the millisecond. We gotta up the
Not
professionalism.
losing in the millisecond.
We might be. Who knows? We'll see after the first episode published. But in any case, the other thing is like, parents always ask all the time. It's like, oh, what can I do to get involved? How can I like keep my kid interested in cubing or whatever? How do I keep getting faster? And for the longest time, there was no good answer. Right? It was just like, I learned off YouTube, so you should just go learn off YouTube, I guess. But like, that's not really like self-direct. It's like very self-directed rather. But now like, you can point them in like a lot of different directions, right? We got coaching services for people who are like really, really trying to get into it and like perfect like the things that are going wrong with their solves. Then we also have like the cube camps, which is like an alternative angle to a WCA competition, where you can like learn stuff and meet like a lot of people. And it's like, I guess it's more directed in that sense too, because there's like a program and everything. There's like a counselor type deal and everything like that. So yeah, just good ways for people to get involved, learn about cubing, and yeah, just learn more.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what we do as, events like nationals this year is now invite only. So I'm sure there's going to be needs for events that have 2,000 plus people, but maybe people don't need to compete for these big events. Maybe we find things like cube camps that happen adjacent to these big comps. Maybe it's going to be, you don't want to pull your athletes too thin, but I'm sure there's ways that we can start to move away from our current model and start to bring more people in the community, keep them more engaged, give them more reasons to show up other than just getting their 5 solves.
All right, we want to bring in someone for our highlight of the week that we haven't shown on the channel here before, I don't think. He's a former WCA official with 10 years of experience and is the current unofficial official president of officiating here at SpeedcubingTv, James Hildreth. James, take it away.
Hey everybody, producer Matthew here. We did not mention what the highlight of the week is. It's David Epstein's OCR average for square one, along with his +2, which we unfortunately don't have footage for.
At first glance, I'd say that this looks like a pretty well-distributed average, fairly consistent. You got a counting 490, 582, 513. That's a pretty normal spread for the average that he actually achieved. But what's of particular note here is that this 4.90 on his first solve was actually a +2. So he had a 2.90. By far would have beaten the current standing world record had he not plus two'd. And we have the scramble for it. There's unfortunately no video.
Yeah, just pretty crazy stuff. We could have seen like a ridiculous world record, but unfortunately not to be. But still, OCR average. So great stuff to David Epstein's, and thanks to Hildreth for covering this topic for us, the experts in the field.
All right, that's our new hire, dude. We are so many levels up now, it's crazy. Yeah, but
+4.
yeah, +4. Wrapping things up here, gentlemen. Both of you, John, Manu, do you have anything else you wanna shout out? Anyone else you wanna shout out?
Oh yeah, dude. I want to shout out my boy Juan Yi, fellow Tigers fan, best team in the league. Can't wait to see what we do in the playoffs.
We were not
Oh,
best.
there you
Boom!
go.
Look at that. Yes.
Look at
If you're
that.
listening audio only, you're missing out.
You tune in, watch the video. Look at that. He's going about 200 miles an hour, isn't he? Like that's the
I'm
fastest.
surprised someone had that good a frame rate.
Easily. He's zooming.
Someone's got like the 1/4,000 shutter speed. You are gonna see every frame, every milliframe, dude. But what is the context of this picture, by the way? I meant to ask that when I first saw it.
That's his
What
coach.
is the context of this?
That's his coach. So I mean, this is
He's
physical
training.
proof that
Is
mental,
his cubing
physical,
coach or his track
everything
coach?
relates. All the
Yeah,
above.
he's training, bro.
Bro, he's gonna be in the Olympics.
He's out there, yeah.
We're gonna putting cubing in the Olympics. If we could have like skateboarding in the Olympics, we can have cubing in the Olympics, man. Make the campaign right now, man. Yeah, no disrespect to skaters, by the way. Skaters, I love you, but that ain't a sport. Anyway, Manu, do you got anything? Do you have anything you want to say?
I don't know. Michigan sports, whatever. Who cares? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sad about Burrow. That's my news this week. Unlucky.
Well, do you want to burrow into a hole and not watch the rest of the NFL season?
I want to end this podcast. That's what
All right, well, we're going to end this podcast right now. Thanks for watching Plus 3, everybody. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us, what do you make of that whole David Epstein situation? What do you make of cube camps? Let us know in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that. Thanks for watching Plus 3, everybody. We'll see you next time.